welcome to the Second Impression podcast. I'm your host, R.A.P, aka Rhythm and Poetry. Today's guest is an artist, a producer, and a visionary. I'd like to welcome Endless Mysfit-Muzik.
I'm gonna enjoy those now because the quiz aren't gonna get me. Oh hell yeah! What's up, brother?
Not too much. Thank you for coming on the show, man. First things first, introduce yourself to the listeners and let them know where they could find you.
Cool, man. My name's Endless Mysfit-Muzik. You can call me Endless or Misfit for short. You can find me pretty much any social media. I don't play with Twitter too much, but Facebook, Instagram. You can find my music on your favorite streaming service, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, I was gonna say Instagram, Apple Music. All those spots. You know what I mean. You could pretty much find me anywhere.
Dope, dope. Well, that'll run me into the first question of the interview for today. How did you choose the name Endless Mysfit-Muzik? How did you become who you are today?
Well, Misfit music has always been since I was young, man. Like I always said when I grew up, I want my label to be Misfit Music. Like it's just always been something a part of me. As far as my name, man, when I was younger, I had a whole bunch of bad names. You know what I mean? So, um, I think I started off with like SD on one, which was like Silver Dragon. Another one was like D for Dark Child, but nothing really stuck out right. You know what I mean? And one day I was writing this verse for one of my homies and shit, and the first line was like I'm endless and blah 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 blah, and I just meant to use it as a line, and I was just gonna settle with misfit, but when I was showing my homie the line, I was like, wait a second, it literally says I'm endless. I was like, endless. I was like, and the homie was, man, that fits you, bro. That fits you perfect. And I was like, hell yeah. So I went for endless for a long time, but turns out there's a few people in the world that have my name. You know what I mean? So when I was dropping music finally on Spotify and everything would always pop up on other people's playlists and not mine. So I ended up combining both names. Even though I want a short name to begin with, I end up having to connect them both, and now I don't have that issue anymore. So it's a long line, but it ensures that. I mean, if you got the same name as me, you went the fuck out your way. You know what I mean?
Even if they would get it with the same spelling and everything too,
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Even with the hyphen and everything.
I'd be like, yeah, you knew what you were doing. But
Exactly.
no, as an artist myself, I totally have to agree because like when I have a pretty standard name, and as soon as I had put my name out there on Spotify and stuff, I ended up being on other people's pages and stuff as well. And then what I said to myself was that I was just gonna friggin' own it, and then I was gonna become the best artist with that name that I could be, so that when people go search that music, my music shows up and their music shows up under my music instead. Um,
Definitely, definitely.
but I like what you did with your name too, though, because you always wanted to have the idea of misfit music, and by incorporating the endless with it, it's just constantly misfit music. You are the entity of always being endless misfit music.
Yes. Appreciate you, brother.
Gets so deep, man. It's so deep.
Hell yeah.
All right, so I'll move on to question number two. What did you fall in love with first? Was it making beats or writing music?
So definitely music first. Music since I was little, man. Since I was a little kid, like I mean, everybody in my family's pretty musical, man. Everybody has a voice in my family. You know what I mean? They don't take it serious like I do, but I mean, they just fucking around singing whatever genre they like, and they all sound pretty good. So music's always really been a big thing for me. As far as that goes, beats didn't come till later. I think, like, as an artist, you come up, and I'm from a small town, so not many people want to give you that time of day. You know what I mean? So, I think what a lot of it was too, is I was always trying to do something different, and not everybody was on board right away. You know what I mean? So, um, a lot of beat making came from just kind of learning to do everything on my own, like not relying on anybody. Like, like if I only had myself to worry about, then I could make whatever the fuck I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I got onto the beats. I mean, I've always loved instrumentals. Like, I mean, I was in band. I played saxophone like my whole high school and junior high career. Like, did marching band, all that shit. So I've always loved actually making music. But I was probably about 15 whenever I finally started like learning how to make beats, and I just fell in love with all of it, man. So you know that's pretty much how it started off.
Nice, man. I love listening to stories like that. Especially, I love having artists and like artists slash producers on the show because it's always interesting to me to find out like which came first. You know, what did you really fall in love with first?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awesome being able to do a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Like you can basically go any direction you want. May not always be the best direction, but um, you're able to do whatever you want. Make your shit from It's awesome to get a tight ass beat and have a canvas ready for you. But sometimes when you just kind of let it go and you from the beginning to the end, like when you're done with that song, it's purely you. You know what I mean? Like every bit of it's just you. So I've always kind of liked that aspect. You know what I mean?
Hmm, I'd have to agree with that. So yeah, I'll move on to question number three. Who would you consider as your biggest musical inspiration?
Ooh, that's a it's a tough one, man. I got a few up there to be honest, but if I'm gonna say like probably my very first like would probably be Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. Like when I was
Hmm.
younger, I had a good I had a good voice, but I didn't really have a good rapping voice. Like for a long time, I struggled having like a good like voice. I didn't believe myself, you know what I'm saying, when I would just rap. So whenever I heard them, like, and I was a good singer, good harmonizer, whatever I should say, like they kind of paved the way. Like they showed me, hey man, I could do some hard ass shit and still make it sound musical, still make it sound harmonical, use my vocals. And the speed is really what helped me get like I used to like rapping fast a lot. I still like to chop it up a bit, but back then that's purely all I did. And it just kind of took off from there, you know what I mean? Like just jamming out, East 99 and all that. Like it really like set the foundation of what I could do with what I had. You know what I mean? Because not any at that time nobody was doing anything like them. Nobody fucked with like if you had any harmony or singing in your voice or anything, your shit just wasn't hard. You know what I mean? For the most part, unless it was a hook or something, that was pretty much it. And they were able to do hooks, bridges, bring-ins, intros, all that shit using that skill set, and it really opened my eyes to see what I can do. And I mean, if you listen to me today, you can tell the influence is there. You know what I mean? Like, so I got to give it up to them for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely something I was going to point out after you were done. That as soon as you said Bone Thugs, I totally heard it right away. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
but yeah, you're not the only one, man. There's a lot of artists, underground, mainstream, and all types of genres that still don't like their voice. Been doing it for years and years, and some people still don't like their voice. You know, when they'll always say you'll be your worst critic, right? That's like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
one of the truest sayings.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm the worst critic of myself. Like you guys are probably sit there and tell me, "Hey man, that shit sounds tight." I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I mean, as far as Bone goes, man, I mean, the whole music game was they like everything they did back then. It's influenced every aspect of music to this day. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you got country singers and fucking R&B singers fucking singing fast and doing little stuff like, and then just allowing like everybody uses harmony and everything now. So I fucking love it. Like I feel like back then, like I was stuck out like a sore thumb, and nowadays, like it just like I fit in again, which is weird for me because I'm a misfit. You know what I mean? Like I ain't never been one to fit in. So,
No, you do, brother. We got brothers around you now, man.
mm-hmm. Much love to all y'all.
All right, so we'll move on to question number four. What kind of vibe can you typically expect from music?
I'm a little bit of a mix, man. So one thing that's consistent, I would say, is dark vibes. Like I can't undo a dark vibe to save my life. Like once in a thousand beats or melodies, I'll have something that sounds happy. But man, I don't know. Like I'll show somebody and be like, "Hey, man, I made this happy little song. You know, it could be about rainbows and unicorns and shit." And they'd be like, "Nah, bro, that shit sounds dark as hell." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" But I mean, I'm heavily influenced. I grew up on a lot of West Coast gangster rap and stuff back in the '90s and stuff. Midwest definitely. Of course, Bone and everything, and just the lyrical. Like I always felt like Midwest was more free, and that's just kind of how I like to be. You know what I mean? They can just kind of do whatever the fuck they want, and
Hmm.
you know, East Coast wasn't as big where I'm from, in New Mexico, but a lot of people do like East Coast. But I always like the lyricism from East Coast, and I think with Dirty South, man, like the hustling game, the the grind, and then just like honestly, like whether you're doing like some country rap where they're talking about grinding, or you got that Dirty South club shit where they're just having a good time. Like I like all that stuff, so I try to mix it all. I try to do it all the same. You know what I mean? Like when I make a song, I just try to make a song. You know what I mean? Sometimes that song may be completely different than anything. I just kind of focus on it and just try to make my own little masterpiece with it, the way I would do it. But definitely, like you could find those aspects all in my music, and like I said, like it'll always usually have some kind of dark tone to it, regardless of what I try not to do.
So you're still pretty versatile in the music you're able to create, but it still ends up with a dark tone to it, basically.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. That's where some people need that kind of outlet too, sometimes, right? So it
Oh,
takes all
definitely.
kinds.
Music's one of the best outlets you can have. If you do music, shit, that's the best therapy you could probably get.
That's true. All right, so I'll move on to question number five. Where would you love to perform if you could go anywhere in the world?
So this question's kind of funny because honestly, like I performed, a few times when I was younger, as a kid. I just recently performed for like the first time in 20 years, like I think last year with the homie Kronos. This year I'm gonna perform with him and my primo Drusu. We're gonna open up for Ritz on 420.
Nice.
Um, to be honest, like I was never really been big on performing, like until recently. Something I was like, nah. I just never really got anything out of it. So this year, I kind of changed my mindset, and I'm gonna, go through with it, and kind of learn to have, I guess, open up, be more open to it, and enjoy myself. Like I had fun. The last time I did with Kronos, and it was a real small venue, and I was still trying to come back from, I had COVID real bad and shit. I went through a lot of health problems with that, so it was kind of like had to build myself up to do it. But like, so I guess I'm trying to find a new joy. So as far as a place, I don't really have one in mind, but I guess right now the best thing I would like to do is like I've met a lot of people like you and BTB and some homies from New Mexico and stuff like that, and I think it'd just be awesome and dope to get a lot of us together and just throw a fucking show and have a good fucking time. You know what I mean? Just have fun with it. That would probably be more my view. As far as a place, I don't really have one in mind yet. You know what I mean? Maybe as I get further into it, then I'll be like, that's where I want to go. You know what I mean?
Hmm, I see. Yeah. Man, Casey and I have talked like a billion times about trying to get everybody together to try to make a show or like a BTB event concert or literally anything, man. A book reading, like uh,
Yeah, that would be fun, bro. And especially go visit y'all up in Canada and shit. That'd be awesome, brother.
I think we'd be able to do like a thing with like like a select few in Canada type of thing. And then at the same time, man, we could get friggin' a bunch of video recorded and stuff like that. And then we could do an event also in the United States for some of the people who weren't able to come up into Canada and stuff. 'Cause I know some people either don't have passports or they have felonies or something.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, we all got something going on, and yeah, man. It's not as easy. That's kind of the goal, man. Hopefully, get to a point where freely traveling isn't an issue ever. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm, I agree. All right, so I'll move on to the last question. Question number six. What's your plan for your future in music currently?
So my plan in music would be just to go all out. Like I've been doing this shit for a long time, and you know, um, I haven't really gotten anywhere with it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that's on me. I think you know what I mean. Like I didn't like put my music. Like right now, living in a time where it's so easy to put music out. Like it's so easy for you to fucking put your fucking shit to the grindstone and fucking get out there and earn your own keep. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about being some top artist or being on some Billboard charts. I don't really give a damn about none of that, or even being in mainstream exactly. But I just want to make music to the point where I am known for my music, known, earn my accolades, you know what I'm saying? And even like kind of try to even live off it, you know what I mean? Like I don't mind, my job that I got now at all, but it would be nice to like know that if I didn't have it, I'm good, you know what I mean? I guess be free to go do whatever fuck I want to go do, make pave my own way, I guess you could say, in beats and with music. Just travel around, meet more people, connect with more people, and just fucking make as much music as possible. You know what I'm saying? And get better at it. Like I got, like I had mentioned earlier, I got real sick with COVID a while back, and I got to the point where I couldn't even spit a bar without dying of breath. So the fact that I'm actually in the middle of making an EP and all this stuff now, like I'm grateful for it. So I don't want to take it for granted. So I basically just want to get out there and just do as much shit as I can and just have a fucking good ass time doing it. You know what I mean?
See, and I think honestly, that's a completely realistic goal to be able to achieve. It's a lot of people, they fucking reach for the stars and they friggin' set goals to like land on the moon and shit like that. But
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you can't forget about the small steps to get
exactly.
your way up there. That's literally just as important as the big goals or the small steps, because small steps is what keeps you moving forward. Momentum is what keeps you moving forward.
Oh yeah. I think people forget that it's a journey too, like people always think about the destination. Like to me, like I want to enjoy getting there. I want to earn my way up there. I want to earn people's fucking ears. I want to, earn the good comments that I get and better the bad ones that I'll get. And I like, I want to enjoy the trip, you know what I mean? And like I said, like you said, like people want to land on the moon and shit, like, and that's cool, if that's people want to do that, that's fine. Like everyone should be able to chase what they want to do, but me, that's just not really where I'm. Like I don't care about being the best or nothing like that. Like to me, I just want to be good. You know what I mean? I want to be good enough to be on the field playing with the other players, you know what I mean? And then just stick out doing it the way I do it. And by doing that, like I'm kind of living my goal already. You know what I mean? It's just basically expanding, I guess you can say, until like I'm all over the fucking place.
Hey man, I see you getting there. I already hear your sound. You're doing all this stuff yourself, man. You're doing good.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. So hopefully that got you guys to know Endless Misfit Music a little bit more. Now we're going to be moving on to the quiz the whiz portion of our show. Basically, if you guys have never watched the show or listened to the show before, this show we get three topics from our guest, and then we make a little quiz. Yeah, then we give them a score of 0 out of 10, from 0 to 9. Sorry. So we're gonna see how this goes. So the three topics that were chosen today are finish this '90s lyric, world history, and science. How confident are you today, my friend?
Oh man, this is gonna be entertaining for everybody that's listening. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna give it my best. Don't worry, but we just gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna see how many boos I can try from not getting. You know what I mean?
Whatever happens, we're gonna learn some today.
There you go. Let's do it.
All right. So, oh man, haven't done one of these in a while. Okay. Question
Mm,
number one is finish this '90s lyric.
I'm ready.
Um, so yeah, I got to say the lyric. So to everybody listening, if I butcher any of these lyrics that you enjoy, I apologize and please don't ever hate me for it.
And
All
don't get
right.
mad when I get it wrong.
Question number one. Finish the lyric to 1992's Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. The lyric goes like this: I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and that round thing in your face, what happens?
You get sprung.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, we're going with it.
All right, that's correct. You definitely do get sprung.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Oh, I wish I could have done it the way I wanted to do it initially, because I feel like I'm reading like a Sir Mix-a-Lot like slam poetry or something. Like,
You gotta say it all properly. With the itty bitty face, and you get what is the rest of the lyric?
what is the rest of the lyric?
You get
Feel
sprung, sir.
you get
You get
sprung.
sprung.
All right, we're going to move on to question number two. This goes to world history. This is a multiple choice question, so I'll give you three answers to choose from.
All right.
Uh, what year did the Titanic sink? Was it A, 1936, B, 1912, or C, 1905?
1912.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
That is correct. The Titanic sank on the night of April 14th and the morning of April 15th. And the sinkage or sankage lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes, apparently.
But she still could have let Leo up on the fucking furniture, I'm telling you.
She could have moved over.
A little bit, you know?
Man. All right, now we're 2 for 2. Let's keep going. So this next question is number 3. This is a science question.
All right.
All right, this is another multiple choice question. What is the most popular science topic? Is it A, mental health, B, sustainable agriculture, or C, infectious disease?
Ooh. I'm stuck between A and C. It would be B just to spite me, but damn, mental health, or especially right now, mental health's a big thing, and of course, fucking viruses are. Let's do the viral one, C.
All right, and that's your final answer?
We're gonna go with it.
That's correct, my friend.
Ah! Hey man, I got 3 on the board. I'm good now.
Let's go.
We could,
So yeah, the most popular science topic is infectious disease,
thank you, COVID.
which would make sense right
With
now.
all, oh yeah, with all the shit that happened the last couple of years, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to be moving on to question number 4. Oh man, this goes back to finish this 90s lyric. Oh man, this is going to be a rough one. All right, so finish the lyric to 1996's "No Diggity" by Blackstreet and Dr. Dre. East side to the west side, pushing fat rides. It's no surprise what comes after that.
Chips
Here.
in the stash, picking up the cash fast when it comes to the gas.
I'm not even going to ask you if you think it's right because I know you know it's right.
I actually like that song. It's who doesn't? But oh,
I love that song, and I feel so bad that I just read it the way I just did.
oh, you good, baby? You good? That's one of them
No.
songs. When it comes on, I'm gonna sing it, and I don't give a fuck where I'm at. You know what I mean?
So yeah, for the people listening, the answer was she got tricks in the stash. That is the ending to that lyric. So now we're going to be moving on to question number 5. This is going back to world history.
All right.
All right, another multiple choice question.
All right.
What year did France gift the Statue of Liberty to the United States? Is it A, 1885, B, 1884, or C, 1902?
Ooh, 84 and 85 right next to each other. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I did that, man. I did it.
Yeah. So, said 85 or 84. Ooh, it's gonna have to be a guess. Let's go 85.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Ooh. It's 1884. July 4th, 1884 is when France gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States.
I was gonna say 84 because I'm born in 1984, but I was like, nah, it can't be that. I'm gonna go with 85. Oh,
Yeah,
one
you want to
point.
know something? Is when I put these together, I just kind of like randomly, put these together and stuff and do research and crap. And until you just mentioned it, I didn't notice how diabolical putting 1885 and 1884 next to each other would be in a multiple
Oh,
answer question.
That was naturally diabolical.
My apologies. My
Nah, that,
apologies.
hey, that's you supposed to do that. You don't make it easy for us. I know that. So it's all good, baby.
All right. So now we're going to be moving on to question number 6. This goes back to science. What kind of physicist is Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Astrophysicist?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
That's correct,
Oh,
man. He is an astrophysicist.
I was hoping that was a word. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie at all. I was like,
And
I think that's how you say it.
it's funny because with physicists, you just have to add some random word in front of it, and it's you're a specialist in that science of the sort or whatever.
Right.
All right. Um, to my chagrin, we're moving on to question number 7, which goes back to finish this '90s lyric again.
Let's do it.
uh, all right. Okay, so this is finish the lyric to 1990's Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. What is the rest?
Oh my god. This is
Will it
way
ever
before.
stop?
Let's see.
Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow.
Fuck, I don't even know, bro. I don't know. That's probably the only line I know on the entire fucking song.
I had to throw a
Fuck.
hard one in there.
Oh man, it shouldn't be though. It really shouldn't be that hard. But oh man, yeah, I done fucked this one up, brother. So, um, hit me with them booze, baby. Just hit me with them booze.
Ooh. So the ending to that lyric would be to the extreme. I rock the mic like a vandal.
Ah,
Will it
yeah.
ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow to the extreme. I rock a mic like a vandal.
Ooh, there you go. That's how you need to be reading them, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten it either way, man. You got me on that one. Shit. Hell yeah.
All right. So now we're going to move on to question number 8. This goes back to world history.
All right.
So there's 2 answers for this, and I'm only expecting one.
All right.
Name one of the 2 states to join the United States. Both joined in 1959.
Is it Hawaii and Alaska?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That would be correct. It is Hawaii and Alaska. Or Hawaii or Alaska. Or Hawaii or Alaska. There's any kind of could have answered that, and you got it correct, my friend.
Cool. We're
All
doing.
right, all
Oh,
right.
we got one more. One more to
Yeah.
go.
One more to go. All right. So this is the last question, and this question is a science question.
Let's do it.
What is the first and most recognized scientific award in the world named after the Swedish inventor?
What the fuck? Scientific one.
So, what is the first and most recognized scientific award in the world?
I think I'm wrong on this one, but I'm gonna go and say the Pulitzer. Is it the Pulitzer?
Is that your final answer?
Uh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, it is not the Pulitzer. It is the Nobel Prize.
I was wondering if it was that, but I was like, nah, it's probably not.
It
Because
was named after the Swedish inventor Alfred Bernard Nobel.
oh, okay, I got you. Well, there you go. Well, I did better than I thought.
All right. So I haven't done this in a sec, so I'm looking for my drum roll. There it is. So, How do you think you did from 1 out of 9
I believe I got
or 0
six
out of 9?
right.
I think you got 6 right. Okay, I'm gonna do the calculation. Give you the whole. You definitely, indeed, got 6 right.
And 2 of them, I should have fucking just went with my damn gut. That's what the fuck I did. But hey, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. We're on the positive side of that.
Or on the positive side, man. That means... So wait a sec. So that means that you actually got 1 question wrong in every category.
Yes.
So that actually isn't too bad at all. That means that you did better than 50% in every single category.
I'll take that. That makes it sound even better.
All right. Well, that was the Quiz the Wiz portion of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We had fun. I definitely had fun. Definitely not going to be doing Finish the Lyrics ever again.
That shit was fun. That shit was fun.
Maybe in a different format. We'll try to figure it out in a different way. But so anyway, we're going to take a quick break and listen to a song by our guest. This is From the Grave by Endless Mysfit-Muzik. Let's check it out.
It's okay, you can say I've been lost. Coming from the grave, felt that shade, saw that grit and cross. Slowly round his face and my misplaced. What did my sins cause? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, well it's always been the cause. Told me what you say, it's okay, I've been lost. Coming from the grave, felt that shade, saw that grit and cross. Slowly round his face and my misplaced. What did my sins cause? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, really, cause something gotta kill me. Honestly, I just wanna play. Seems like the reaper feels like I ain't gotta say. Every day I seem to slip away a little more, pulling on my soul, but I can't let it go. No, no, no. Trials and these tribulations kill mind, body, and my soul, but I'ma keep it real. Didn't think I'd make it back here on the field, so we just stopped thinking, started doing what I feel. Fuck it, dog, what's the bill? Much words to say from a bitter mind. Only bitter with myself, dog, till I get it right. Fuck who ain't impressed, it's myself that got me pressed. I was down for 6 months, lost my breath, but I won't rest. It's more than a name, it's what I be. Gotta make 100 changes, but my hunger's all I need. Always play the underdog, but that'll never anger us. Creatures pushed against the fucking fence, so dangerous. It's okay, you can say I've been lost. Coming from the grave, felt that shade, saw that grit and cross. Slowly round his face and my misplaced. What did my sins cause? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, really, it's always been the cause. Told me what you say, it's okay, I've been lost. Coming from the grave, felt that shade, saw that grit and cross. Slowly round his face and my misplaced. What did my sins cause? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, really, cause something gotta kill me. Feel me somehow, I just gotta wreck it on me. Gotta show love for the ones who were still checking on me. I could give a fuck who is first or who is second, homie. You think I wanna be the best, then you don't really know me. I can feel death breathing down my neck. I'm in debt, maybe, but that's something I cannot accept. Used to think I was a debt, took for granted pure neglect. I can hear that told you so, like what did you expect? Nothing really, but I know what my goals be. I cannot remember the last time I spit this slowly. Still working, still grinding, habits since my childhood. I've been known to switch it up already, so my style's good. Irritated, I hate it, downgraded, faded, you name it, sedating, waited, I ate it, cause pity makes it degraded. So tell me now how you gon' play it day by day, dog, it's created purpose. What's worse is I made this bed when I fled this mic shade. It's okay, you can say I've been lost. Coming from the grave, felt that shade, saw that grit and cross. Slowly round his face and my misplaced. What did my sins cause? Guess I shouldn't be surprised, really, it's always been the cause. Told me the things that we face. Just get it the fuck out my face. Maybe I'm across the line, but I take it personal. Maybe I should take it back. Maybe you was merciful. I'll accept my time when it's time, but I can't yet. Nice to meet you, brother, but I ain't shaking your hand yet. And if you was wondering whose hand, sitting there, smiling in the dark at me. Shit. You'll see someday. He was just letting me know. Get on your shit. If not, then it's time to quit. So what'd you say? Yes, sir. And I promise, you'll never have to tell me that again. Ever. Ever.
Welcome back. Once again, that was From the Grave by Endless Mysfit-Muzik. The next segment that we're going to be moving into is called Do You Remember? If you guys have never listened to the show before, essentially, Do You Remember? Like Quiz the Wiz, we get a topic from our guest to begin our discussion, and we just chit chat for a little bit. So today's topic is musical influences as an artist and as a listener. So,
Yes, sir.
do you want to start off this conversation, my friend?
Well, sure, man, sure. So, like, like I said earlier in the thing, like I was really into Bone, growing up and everything. Um, I had quite a few different influences, growing up and stuff that kind of helped build me to where I'm at today, So, of course, first was Bone. Definitely always got to give it up to Pac and Big, you know what I mean? Like, they both did their thing. They both had, really good styles and how they did everything. Real monsters in the game for sure, ahead of their time. What I always liked about Pac was how he could like how he was a good speaker. So even when he raps, whether he's talking about some real shit, some deep shit, or just talking about fucking thug life, motherfucker, whatever it was, you know what I mean? He had a good voice, the way he said it, like the pronunciation of his words, like he rapped as a speaker. And I always liked that. I always like how he was able to place his words, how he was able to like enunciate certain words and make shit stick out. And what I always liked about Biggie was he was raw. He was real raw and kind of had like a jazzy type. Like I like how he could just kind of like go back and forth on the beat. You know what I mean? Like everybody's usually like quantized like a motherfucker on the beat, whereas him like he just kind of was free within the bar, you know what I mean? And I try to do that a lot too, especially when I do singing and stuff like that. I like shit to just kind of roll off the tongue, and kind of have like my cadence won't be like following the beat precisely, but it'll still flow with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I feel you, man. Those are like I can't even begin to describe all of the musical influences that go into my music. Like, okay, so I'll start as a listener. Okay, this
All
is
right.
where how I'll begin. So when I was growing up, I was listening to a bunch of different kinds of music. Like I've told the story a few times to a few different people, but essentially, um, when I was growing up with my stepdad, we'd listen to a lot of like Garth Brooks and like Kiss and like Elvis Presley and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was always singing along with him and stuff all the time. And even when I still see him, sometimes he tells me stories about when I was a little kid, and we went to go see Santa Claus. And I went up on the stage where Santa Claus was, and I started singing Garth Brooks to like a bunch of people as like a little kid and stuff, you know. So
Oh yeah.
he's like, I always knew you were going to do something with music and whatever. And as I grew up, I still liked listening to like older country. I didn't like listening to the new pop country and stuff. Like listening to
Yeah.
like older shit, like fucking the Roadhammers and friggin' Brooks and Dunn and Garth Brooks and shit like that, you know.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, like listening to stuff like that, and like listening to like classic rock. Obviously, everybody's had some classic rock sprinkled in their life at some point, you know.
Definitely.
But going into like my preteens is when like, you know, every white kid was listening to Eminem. It was like, yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, we're all like listening to Eminem and shit like that, and then it got me more into like hip hop. But I want to say like, when I was going through like my teenage years, my music like palette was very diverse. I was listening to a lot of EDM. I liked it, Infected Mushrooms and like Avicii and like, you know, Skrillex and stuff like that. And then I also like listening to metal. Like I'm also still to this day a huge metal head. Like I love System of a Down and
Oh yeah.
Avenged Sevenfold and
Hmm.
Kill Switch Engage and stuff like that. Those are some of my Protest the Hero. Those are some of my favorite bands and stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so like basically I was trying to get all of these like musical aspirations from all these different genres and listening to music. I liked um, like in the hip hop, like I like, or in, sorry, in the hip hop genre itself, I liked a bunch of different artists and stuff, right? But like, um, I really liked Hollywood Undead, and not because they did like a whole emo punk thing, but because they're really smashing two genres together, and I really appreciated stuff like that. And like when I talk to other people who enjoy metal music, and I explain how I enjoy stuff like that, and then they're like, okay, well, I could see why you like, you know, System of a Down and Protest the Hero because like they don't only make metal music. You could also hear them sing like angels. They have an angelic voice, and they could also pig squeal like crazy. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like in that same aspect, like I'm kind of like you. Like I grew up on a bunch of shit. The only thing I wasn't influenced on by family was actually hip hop and rap. I found it on my own when I grew up with homies and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
but like say for instance, I've always liked Slipknot. And the reason I always liked
Oh
Slipknot
yeah.
was because Corey like could scream fucking head off, and then in the next fucking line sing beautiful as fuck. And I've always, when it comes to like heavy metal or rock, like that's one of the aspects that I really look forward to. Like for instance, another one, in this moment, Maria Brink, man, like the way she can just fucking scream her fucking head off, fucking come back and sing beautiful, and then even have her voice just fucking crack. Like it's just like so much control to it. Like I've always loved people that could do stuff like that. And I mean, if you listen to my music, you see I like to switch it up a lot too. I like I'll have different fucking harmonies, different tones from fucking rap to fucking singing to so like rock music, like with some of my like vocals, like I've always liked how a lot of them do it. Like when I used to listen to like like Corn and System of a Down, fucking Disturbed. Like all these guys have real strong voices and they're able to do so much with it. And like I always like the variety. I always like to be able to change shit up. Like one of the things I remember when I first had met you, like or started talking with you, you had listened to my song Rillo, and one of the first things you said you noticed was like, damn, this song's over 5 minutes long. Like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And then you said by the end of it, you're like, it didn't even feel like it was 5 minutes, and that's what I kind of want to do. Like, I want to be able to throw you a 5 minute song and you not feel like it was, you know what I mean? Don't feel like, damn, is this song over yet? By doing extra stuff like that. You know what I mean? Making it making it like a little journey for the listener. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, 100%, man. Like even on the most recent episode of my review show, I was talking about this EDM artist I really like. His name's H12, and
Hmm.
like it's it's crazy because it's in like different genres of music that you're able to make an atmospheric experience, right? So that
Hmm.
from start to finish, I feel like I just experienced something. I don't feel like I just had I don't know how to explain that. Like you had to listen to something or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like when I
Yeah.
like I said it straight up because I'm always straight up honest with that stuff, right? So like when I seen that 5 minutes, I'm like, damn. I'm like, this song's fucking 5 minutes long. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, let's listen to it. But yeah, I did not feel like that was 5 minutes because I experienced the song, whatever you were trying to do, the experience that you were to portray, I experienced it with you, and that is what music is. That's literally what the point of making music is to make people experience stuff and to take them to a different place, whether it's what you feel when you're writing or putting that beat together, whether it's what you feel or what they personally feel conveyed through you. That's what you're supposed to do as an artist.
Yes, like I like it to feel like I'm having a conversation with you. You know what I mean? Like you're not just listening to me go or some shit or say some tight punchlines. Like, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes I like to do a song that's just fucking sick ass punchlines just to have fun. You know, because that shit is fun. But like I still want to bring you in. I still want you to. I don't want you just to listen. You know, I want you to fucking enjoy the track with me. You know what I mean? I want you to jump in and like say Rillo. You know, we're sitting there just talking about all our past experiences smoking. I want you to think about all the shit that you did when you were smoking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can listen to my stories, but then as you're listening to it, you're like, oh shit, man, I remember when I did this stupid shit, or I remember this shit, or damn, I remember that fucking badass bong back in the day, or just some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. That's what I really like. I like to try to get into.
Man, that's that's all you gotta keep doing, man. You sit there and you think about it, and when you're putting it together, just don't forget that you want to take people for a ride, man. And like I feel like you're successfully doing that. You know, like I've listened to that track, I've listened to From the Grave as well, and I have to say that I agree that that also takes you through a fucking journey from start to finish. Like you know, making that atmospheric experience, bro, is literally the biggest thing, and especially in the world that we're in right now, like people want to be taken away from where they are in their current mindset or physical realm or space or whatever, you know.
Oh, definitely. And then I'd have to say so I brought up a couple of my my earlier influences, but I gotta say probably two of my real biggest influences would have to be Tech Nine and Eminem.
Mm.
As a listener and as a fucking musical artist. So I think like with Tech Nine, so as I've said, like I always had dark tones. I've always liked dark styled stuff. My original very first group with my with my first with my homeboys and shit back in the day was called Darkness. So you know I've always been on that dark tip, and so whenever I was 18, his album Angelic came out, man. And this is like back in the day when there was still Hastings, and Hastings had a headphone set that you could listen to people. And most of my boys were on like Chicano rap, you know what I mean? They were listening to like Khalifa Thugs or fucking, Little Rob, you know, people like that. And I grew up on that, so I always liked it too. But I was always like I just like darker shit. And so when Tech Nine first came out, like I just saw the cover and I was like, that's crazy cover. And then I looked at it and the songs titles were crazy. Like he looked like he was in hell with his wings ripped off, asking to be liberated. I was like, damn, this motherfucker just put a whole fucking artistic fucking thing together. Like this is my kind of shit. So then I started listening to the songs, and when I started listening to him, the switch ups, the way he would do shit, the way he uses harmonies, I was like, Bone started me off, but this boy like showed me like I can fucking do what I want to do and fucking go all out. So like I became the biggest Tech Nine fan, and then of course he was lyrical as fuck, which I like too. And then you don't even get me started with them. Like Eminem was a big one for me too as a listener because that boy did what he just made shit happen. Like he made words rhyme that you would never fucking rhyme. He would say shit that you would never even think of. Like I don't know if it's on the Eminem show or if it's on Encore, but there's a song I think it might be Rain Man. I'm not sure where the last line is. I just did a whole song and I didn't say shit. You're like, dude, I just listened to you do all these fucking lyrical shit, and then you just made me feel bad for listening to this song. But but that versatileness, like being able to go and just fucking have your way with the beat, have your way with the song, and just fucking kill it in the ways that they do. Like to this day, today are probably my most influential like people like that really because even Eminem had a lot of darkness, but they both get personal too, and like sometimes I like to do that, like my own personal thoughts or maybe something I went through or whatever, you know what I mean? And I just like to do it just as an abstract, like I don't really expect anybody to pity me if it's a sad song or feel bad if I'm talking about rough shit. Like that was just what made me me, and I'm good today. But I like people sometimes, learning my frame of mind because, sometimes you find out people think a lot more like you than you think, and I've always liked those two for that reason that they can come in here and do some crazy shit, but then can turn around and make you feel some shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I'd have to agree, man. And like a lot of people forget too that so there's 2 points I like to bring up about Eminem. Is first of all, he's not only a rapper, he's also a producer, and he's produced a lot of songs for a lot of artists that you wouldn't even realize that he produces songs for. He produced a song for Biggie before,
Mm-hmm.
produced a song for Tupac before. You know,
Yeah.
he's been around for a while. And the other thing too is because of what Eminem did, he pushed the boundaries of censorship and allowed for us to be able to do music the way we're doing it today.
Yep.
And I, dude, I've been seeing so much stuff lately about people like bagging on Eminem and shit like that, saying like, "Yo, he doesn't deserve to be in like top five and stuff." And
Yeah.
I don't even, I'm not even taking his music into account. I'm taking in what he did for the hip hop community in censorship ways. That alone deserves for him to be in a top five conversation. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I think a lot of people when they come up with music, who's the greatest, it's always going to be contested because it's going to come down to what you feel, and not everybody's the same. But what I
Exactly.
think people don't ever take into account is not just the song or their skills or the sales or the albums; it's the effect they have on the game. And he's definitely been one of the most influential people on the game. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like to this day, like there's a bunch of people who learn to be lyrical and learn to go the way he does. Like you hear a lot of people influenced by him. You know what I mean? Like with me, I always like keeping like consistent rhymes. Sometimes I just like to. I don't like to always like to have like the rhyme at the end of the bar every fucking time. Like sometimes I may put a rhyme at the end of the bar, but have like three words that rhyme with each other that don't rhyme with that one in the sentence, and I'll just have rhyme schemes going. And like he really broke down that a lot, like with syllables and all that shit. So like basically kind of opened up the game in ways people never really thought of doing.
That's true. And like touching back on that too, I feel like you want to have a proper like whatever top 10, top five conversation, you have to, I agree, you have to take into account their catalog of music, but also their impact on the
Yeah,
culture of hip hop as well.
exactly,
Those
exactly.
those go hand in hand, and that's like I explain that to the artists that I work with and stuff too. And like Boot is really, really good with it. But everything that we do, it has to, it impacts the culture in a negative or positive way, whether it's very small or very big, you know? So you got to make sure that whenever you're taking strides, that you're taking strides in the name of hip hop, man. That's literally like
Definitely.
that's what you need to do. But this is another thing, actually, before we get going and stuff, I wanted to talk about is okay, so I had mentioned through my teenage years that I had listened to some Hollywood Undead. Okay.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed listening to them. But going back through those years, but as an artist, the people I listened to at that point were Chris Webby, Mac Miller, Asher Roth, and Machine Gun Kelly when all those guys came out and on YouTube, and it was like the four
Yeah.
white YouTube rapper thing going on.
Mhm.
I still listen to Chris Webby today. I actually have not listened like or not that I haven't listened, but I haven't really enjoyed a full Mac Miller song since he passed away because I listened to a lot of his music and it fucking really hit me when he died.
Yeah.
Um, Asher Roth was more of just a school phase, you know. He's just more of a college rapper. I find like I've seen some ciphers of him rapping, and I won't take away from his skill or anything, but just like his catalog of music isn't always for me. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
MGK, I liked him a lot until he decided to fucking start a rock band or whatever. Um, But anyway, so that's where that had started, that influence of like that goofy, nerdy, lyricist, fast rap, chill rap, whatever, like do everything, versatility
Yeah,
type of thing. And
yeah,
then I got introduced to Army of the Pharaohs and Jedi Mind Tricks and Vinny Paz, Technique, Diabolic,
yeah,
those guys. And
yeah.
buddy, that changed forever of how I was going to be writing music. Let me tell you.
I could see that. I could see that. Definitely, I could see that. Especially with you, you're very lyrical and everything. And what I've always liked about you is like I was talking, I like to be free, but like man, you're like really free on your shit. Like the way like the way you do your flows come to you and the way that you put them out, like you keep me guessing when I'm hearing your shit. Like I don't know, I'm like it's almost like where's the rhyme gonna land, and it's never gonna land where you think it's gonna land, and it may and then it's gonna land more times than you think it's gonna land. Like and then you always just have some real fucking good lyricism, like your punchlines, or want to get deep, or you just want to have fun and just smash the fucking record, like like your shit's just original as fuck, man. So I can really see like lyrical, very lyrical people like fucking influencing you for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like I try not to be too political though at the same time because I try to always like fall under how we were talking about earlier of like making the listener have an experience like when they listen to you, like
Yeah,
if I could be like really open and frank with you and everybody right now, like I went through um, a long period in my life where I'm sure like a lot of people have as well, but I was like really depressed and I didn't really feel good about myself,
yeah,
and I just had some time to myself to like reflect on what truly makes me happy as a person. And I always noticed that like I've always been like a class clown, and like I always love making people laugh and smile, and like I noticed like bringing happiness to people and making them laugh or making them smile or experience something fun. um, that is where like a lot of my music tries to touch on, is like just the transparency of me telling you like, hey, you're not alone. I feel like you feel like I feel, like, you know we're in this together kind of thing. I try to make my a lot of my music like that. But then also on the opposite side of things, like I said, I still make my music like a lot of transparency. So when I go into like my darker stuff, like, oh man, when I go into my darker stuff, those are just like all of the thoughts that are just like pushed into there, shoved down into there. You know what I mean? That you're just touching
yeah,
on and stuff, and you're just like, and especially like me with my writing process, when I start writing, bro, I can't finish writing. Like when I start writing a song, I have to fucking finish it. It doesn't matter. And it's because it's all just like I write everything very poetic and very flowing. Like that's another reason why I don't want to change my name, is because it suits me very well, is because everything I try to do is very poetic and very rhythmic at the same time.
yep, yep.
And like same as you, man, I've had a lot of horrible artist names in my past, and I'm not going back. And I feel like I touched on something that really represents me as a person, same as you.
Yeah, when it hits right, it hits right, and I think that's what was wrong with mine. Like it just wasn't hitting right. So whenever Endless hit, I was like, "That's it." Like that's it. You know what I mean? And then I was really bummed when I had to add the whole Misfit music to it. But honestly, like I'm good with it, and what's cool about it too is like some people call me Endless. I'll have some people call me Misfit. I'll have someone call me Misfit Music. Like I think the only downside to it is like about 90% of the people I've done music with never fucking spell my name right in the fucking credits. That's about the fucked up thing about the whole thing. But other than that, like, like I kind of it just fit me even more because like it's just like both my names, everything I'm about's in that name, you know what I mean? So you know what you're gonna get. And I've always liked the name Endless. Like the other names I always had, like I always thought they fit me, but they just didn't have that personalization. I guess is what I'm trying to say. They were just like a name that anybody could have.
Yeah.
And so now I got a name that like it fits me and suits me. And like I said, the motherfucker's so long now that yeah, you can't copy my name without doing it purposely. If you
Yeah.
accidentally come up with my name, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to fucking believe you.
We're gonna have to make it to go visit somebody. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take a trip to go visit somebody if something like that happens.
Right? Like, hey, bro, no.
You know what you did, buddy. You know what you did.
Exactly. But like the name Endless, like I wanted to just say fuck it. I'm just gonna try to rock it as hard as I could. But there was actually a guy in Germany who's already got like hundreds of thousands of fans. Like he's already pretty big over there. So I was like, I fucking took too long. So I fucking went ahead and added the Misfit music in there. So and I know for a fact you put that name in, I'm gonna pop up. Nobody else pops up, nothing. So someone else starts popping up and be like, yeah, bro, I already done been established for a while. So yeah, you're gonna have to smash me for that name, and I ain't gonna let it happen.
There you go. All it all came full circle, man.
It did, just like it's supposed to.
Just like it's supposed to. All right. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. I'd also like to thank Endless Mysfit-Muzik for joining us on today's episode, man. Thank you. Like, this is our first episode back of 2023, and I had a blast doing this episode with you, man.
Oh, bro, I had a blast too, man. And fucking, hey, man, thank you for fucking inviting me, man. Shit, anytime, brother. You hit me up anytime.
All right. Well, next week to the Second Impression podcast and show with me, R.A.P, and our new guest. Good night, everyone.